The job for today is to clear up this corner so I can put the compost heap in here, and as I'm clearing and cutting hedges I can start putting stuff into this corner. But first it's got to be cleared. There's broken glass, there's carpet, there's this thing, lots of plastic and things like this corrugated iron, and I can't shift it because the tree's grown into it, so that's going to be fun. And I might just leave that corrugated metal in the corner. I'm not going to be growing anything in there, so just leave it in there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun day. And these bramble roots, there's a lot of them, and it's grown through the carpet, so it's going to be fun removing this stuff. There's carpet everywhere and bramble roots. Lovely. Nice little job on a Sunday morning. I have a robin constantly following me as I expose new soil so that it can gather up worms and insects. There's a few black bags, and some of them have got could be compost, could be manure. I mean, it's been here for years, so anything in there is probably pretty well rotten. There's nothing ever simple on an allotment, is it? I thought they were just a load of carrier bags, but they've got stuff in them. There's a robin there that keeps playing hide and seek with me as I move the bags. It nips in and grabs a couple of worms. This is just got a lot of soil in it, and I've taken out some of the plastic and stuff, but it's still very difficult to move. This thing is sort of not quite falling apart, but if I try and move it, it will fall apart. So I've taken out some of the plastic and rubbish out of it, and it's in the right in the corner where I was going to put a gooseberry. So what I'm going to do is put a bit more soil in there, plant the gooseberry, and then if it needs to be netted from birds, I can just put a net over the gooseberry, because it's under this tree and it's shaded for quite a bit, so probably gooseberry is the best thing. And also it's the furthest spot away from Karen, who doesn't like gooseberries, so this is the spot. So I'm going to leave this in place. Now that I've cleared the plastic out best as I can, there's a lot of little pieces there, but they're just sort of all decomposing and falling apart as soon as I touch it. But I'll clear those out. There's a big tree root there, and there's a lot of ivy here, which is probably waiting to get the sunlight, and then it's going to start climbing all over the place. Once I've remove the tree canopy, it's going to get sunlight and it's going to shoot off. So, well, I'm not too bothered because the soil down here seems to be quite good and fertile, but seeing as we've got all these trees here, I'm not going to grow anything along this border. so I'm not too bothered about a little bit of ivy here. Trying to dig up the brambles, and then there's carpet on top of it. Some of it falls apart, but then you can take bits of it up. It's all rotten, it keeps tearing, but at least I can get rid of it. Unearth this bit of carpet, find the edge of it. There's more here. Bloody hell. Forgot to find it. Edge. Because if you try and pull that whole thing up, lift it, you just get little bits coming off in your hand, so you have to feel the top of it and then try and lift it gradually. Nightmare. And then once you've done that, you've got the bramble roots to clear out. At least now I can get in under here. Pull out the bramble roots. Look at the size of this thing. This has actually grown over the top of the carpet. If I pull the bramble root, the carpet comes off with it. Gee, right, crumbs. Ye gods. Don't know where the end of it is, but bloody hell. Roll up the whole thing, but it's so big I'll have to cut it up. And as I do that, I can hear the roots coming off with it, snapping the roots off of all the stuff that was mixed in with it. Oh, crumbs. This carpet is doubled over, and then, oh god, it's huge. And of course it's got soil and roots, and of course it's all soaking wet, so it's heavy, and the only choice is to cut it up and put it in the wheelbarrow. But poof, it's a big job. So it's probably not the best thing for cutting up carpet, but I mean, I don't think a Stanley knife would do much of a better job. It's got the roots and stuff in it. And you can see it's riddled with roots between the carpet and everything. So whoever says put that carpet, it'll kill off the weeds, no it won't. Don't listen to them. Right, this area back here, because of all the tree roots from this tree and that tree and the privet, there's trees behind there, there's an apple tree on the other side, there's another massive tree on that side. So this area is just a tangled mass of roots. So obviously it's no use for cultivation because they just suck everything dry. I'll put containers and compost heaps here, the compost bins along this fence, because there's an overgrown mess over on that side, so it's about the same as mine is. There's trees in there. Compost bins are the only useful thing I can put in here. Anything else is going to have a hard time growing unless it's in a container. Trying to unearth this bramble root, I managed to dig up. I mean, it's not the end of the root, but it's a good 1.5 meters to the edge, and then the tree is up there. So it's going to be tough growing stuff here with rubbish like this as well. I've added some conifer cuttings to the leaf mould in the bin to turn it into a compost. I'll be adding more material as it arrives in the chipping bay. It's time to put this Brassica cage away. It's done a good job of keeping the kale free from butterflies, but it's time to put it away for the winter. Then I can move it to its new place in the summer. So it's just going to be dismantled. Okay, that didn't take long, and I'll take the little sections apart and find somewhere in the shed to put that over winter. There are wood chips too. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to use some well-rotted wood chips to level this ground so that I can put a container on it. This wood chip is quite well rotted down, so it's not going to collapse as much as fresh wood chips, so it'll help keep things level here. I'm just levelling it and treading it down well. It doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as it's reasonably level. This container is one of the ones given to me by a friend when he gave up his allotment. Of course, it's been raining, so there's water at the bottom of this. Right. that's where it's going to sit. It needs a little bit more at the other end, but I can fine tune that later. And it's got holes here, so and the same on the other side, so it will hold a bit of water, but the rest will drain away, so it's not going to get flooded. So carrots or parsnips are here. It'll be about the right space for it. I used some netting to make a temporary area for holding compost material next to the small plastic composter. Something has been digging at the roots of these broad beans, and it's chewed them up, dug them up, chewed them up. Basically vandalized my broad beans. Little so-and-sos. Got about 4 or 5 left. He hasn't eaten them. He's just eaten. It's dug a hole, so it's not cutworm or anything. I think it must be a mouse. That is the work of a mouse. It's probably after the bean itself, but that's annoying. And you can see the holes. It's dug and dug and dug and took out. You can see little remnants of broad beans, but that one survived. This one is actually unearthed and left on the top, and it's chewed the tops of some of them. So I may not be getting early broad beans, or not many of them, but the garlic is doing alright. Let's hope it doesn't develop a taste for garlic, but yeah, it seems to be coming out. Both the normal garlic and the elephant garlic are coming out. I denailed the recycled roofing timbers, and they can now be covered in plastic to keep them dry. Most of the nails were salvageable, so they're stored in a small bucket for future use. Continued cutting out some of the dead and dying wood out of the privet hedge. Put some chicken wire to protect what's left of the broad beans. Let's see if the mice take these now. I've taken these pallets and taken them apart, and I've got to take the nails out of this lot, but I have taken some and sorted that out, so these are ready to go, be used. They're all 150 centimeters, these pieces. There's some, obviously, the cross pieces that are wider and shorter, which I've put here for the time being, but I'll use them for other things. The pieces like this that were broken already, I'm still using those to make pieces like that, which I'm going to use to join the long pieces together along the length of the bed. And there's a few little bits and pieces that I can't use, that cracked and beyond use, but they'll be used for kindling. There's a lot of nails in here. I put all the nails that I've taken out into a bucket, but most of them are pretty well rotten and no use, but there might be a few that I might salvage. Anything I don't salvage will go to the scrap metal man. And this is the first bed roughly laid out. I haven't connected all the pieces together, so these pieces are actually not connected at the moment, but it gives you an idea of the size of the bed. 4.5 meters long, 1.5 meters wide, with a 50 centimeter path between them. Well, that's it for 2019. Goodbye for now, and come back soon.